our listeners listen to Kid Rock and have been to his concerts because Crank really wants to go to see the spectacle. It looks wholesome, as the woman at the restaurant said. Welcome to the Rocks and Roots podcast. We are back. We are recovered. We just hiked today. How are you? I'm Tumbles. He next to me in the car is
Cranky. Hello. So yeah, I want to go desperately. Kid Rock has turned his concerts into let's take money from MAGA people, which good for him.
Whatever.
But they are freaking MAGA rallies. It looks hilarious.
Yes. So any of our listeners have ever been to a concert, just let us know. We want to sit way in the back, have a beer, watch it,
yes,
laugh,
observe the spectacle. So,
yes, what did we do today?
Welcome back. Today,
yes, it's been 2 weeks, by the way.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not as bad as I thought.
2 weeks and a couple days.
Cool.
Yes.
So we went to, as I'm now calling it forever and all time,
oh my God,
Mohonk Mountain.
It can't be because the Mohawk Valley is north of here.
Oh, that's a real thing?
The Mohawk Valley, Mohawk River, yeah, that's by Albany in west.
God damn it. All right, so we went to Mohonk.
Oh my Lord stars, Mohonk.
Reservation and...
Preserve. All right, we went to Mohonk Preserve right outside of New Paltz, which is exit 18 off the New York State Thruway. It's right by the Catskills.
And I was looking for... I literally spent a sleepless night last week looking for something to do today that was not crazy 5-hour Adirondack drive, but still would provide scrambles and challenging shit, and this fit the bill. This is probably some of the best trails in the state of New York.
And that is because it is a privately owned trail system.
Yes, that is attached to a historic resort, spa, restaurant. There's 85 miles of trails at an exorbitant day pass fee to get in there. If you show up and can get well, first of all, I found it hilarious when I booked it. I thought the parking lot was going to be up by the house. No. It is 2 miles away by trail, and I would say 3 to 4 miles away by car. They have you go in a separate entrance.
If I may, I'm going to give a little backstory of the resort.
Absolutely.
And how it looks. So, Mohonk Mountain House has been a premier upscale resort for decades. And they've always had trails. It's right in the middle of the Shawangunk Mountains, which is known for their rock climbing. Sam's Point is not too far. We've done that. Crank's done it twice. But what this is that you can stay at the resort and take advantage of all the amenities, or you can buy these day passes to hike the trails, go into the resort itself, take advantage of, I think, the tea that happens at 4 p.m. every day. You can go swimming through this day pass, and the day pass is like $75, $80. $85. Okay, and in the winter it's more because then you get access to the rentals, the snowshoes, spikes, cross-country skis, etc., etc. They have ice skating rink, all that stuff. So when Cranky was looking, he saw that Mohonk Preserve does have an option for hikers only, which on the website it's at $35 a person, which is fucking exorbitant and ridiculous and Jesus. So we arrived at this alternate entrance to the preserve, which is not where the day passes and resort people go. This is the stinky hiker entrance.
Yes, we were segregated.
Yes. So we got there this morning around 7:30. And I would say there was maybe 2 more spots available out of maybe 10.
Yes.
All right.
So you hike up, and for that price, they damn well better be. The trails are immaculate, very well sculpted, constructed, to a little hut. We got there because the motto on this show is arrive early, finish early. We got there before anyone was checking. If I had known that,
we wouldn't have wasted our time and money.
Right. But, so, helpful tip, if you get there before 8 a.m., there doesn't appear to be anyone there, and it's on the honor system to pay $15. I have no idea why the reservation is $35 ahead, and when you get there, it's $15.
Yeah, I mean, they also have an option for a season, what seems like a yearly or season pass. I didn't see a price for that, but we noticed it was $15 for hikers.
Yep.
So I don't understand where that $35 came from. They just want to rate you.
Well, they did, but the trails looked amazing, and I was like, this is really fucking expensive, but it's...
The trails looked awesome.
Yep. It is only... That's interesting.
Military?
Yeah, there appears to be a military aircraft flying low over the New York Thruway.
All right.
But it's only an hour and 15 minutes from Tumble's house, and it looked amazing, so I was like, whatever, I'm paying it, this is it. And it was almost, we made it worth it, we'll get to that in a bit, but we made it worth the $35.
Yes. Yeah, and the reason why it really tickled Cranky's fancy was because he's all about the bouldering, scrambling, and squeezing. And boy, oh boy, did that happen. It was awesome.
Yes, it was. So we did... I keep wanting to say Eagle's Nest because that's like a World War II. That's like Hitler's fucking bunker.
I think the Eagle's Point, we didn't even get there.
No, we didn't.
No.
But that was the loop on all trails if you want to look this up. Mm-hmm. Lemon Squeeze and Eagle Point. So the trail that we went up was Duck... What? I'm horrible with what the fuck we did today. Something Duck.
Duck Pond.
Duck Pond.
Duck Pond.
So you start the loop from the parking area going up Duck Pond. It's 2 miles to get to all the awesome trails because, again, we had only hiker day passes and they segregate you and start you way at the fucking bottom. So all of these YouTubers that you see, like, oh my god, freaking the Labyrinth Trail is amazing. The Squeezers are amazing. No, they're starting at those trailheads. We had to do 2 miles uphill to get to that point,
which was fine. We needed the ass kicking anyway.
Yeah, we needed our ass kicked because coming off of our Western trip, I was like, oh, it's not even been a month since I did Half Dome and Wheeler Peak and the Grand Canyon in 1 week, and it's been less than a month since I did all that. I'm in the greatest shape of my life. No, folks. Hiking and muscle and stamina, they're perishable skills. You lose that shit quickly.
Yes.
So we got our asses kicked, but it was fun. We were sweaty and smelly by the time we got to the trails. Mm-hmm. Like I said, some of the best trails in New York, some of the best designed. So this loop, once you get up to the top by the Duck Pond, I think it's Duck Pond.
Yeah, it's about 3/4 of a mile to the Duck Pond, and then you pass it on your left, and then you take a quick left just beyond it.
Yes. And the scrambles start immediately. The trail, it's still there, but a well-groomed path mostly disappears, and the blazes are just painted on rocks, and it is a lot of climbing and scrambling. We took a slight detour so I could play in a chimney on the way up.
Yeah.
That was
fun.
Fucking awesome.
You had to get a scooch.
I did. Thank you so much for your assistance.
You're welcome. I was pushing him onto the boulder.
The photos look awesome, though.
Yes, they do.
All right, so
we get to. I'm trying to think. You're on this rocky scramble hike. Not bad at all. If you're worried at this point, it's still not bad. You could still do it if you're a newbie. it is basically until you get to the fork in the trail. You're hugging the side of the cliff.
Yes, thank you.
And you reach a fork where you look to your right and you're like, no way is this a trail, because you have to scale above 4.5 foot, 5 foot rock.
It very quickly goes from class 3, which is 2 feet, 1 hand, fun rock scrambles, to a class 4 at that point.
Yeah, you have to use both hands, both feet.
No rope, but you are climbing at this point. And it was fucking amazing.
Yes.
Pay attention, because
yes.
the blazes are just painted on rocks. We went off trail a couple of times and had to think a little bit.
And also, these blazes
are old.
They are definitely old, and they have arrows going both ways.
Because it is a loop.
Yes.
So just stay the way that you are going. And once you start doing your Spider-Man thing and climbing straight up this class 4, you then get into the section of this trail called the Lemon Squeeze.
Oh, it was worth every moment.
Not to be confused with Lemon Squeezer on the Appalachian Trail, which is quite lame compared to this. But it is 90-degree climbs. They do provide ladders.
Yes.
So there's 2 sets of ladders at 90 degrees. I managed to do the first set without the ladder because there were enough handholds and footholds, but again, it is a class 4. You are climbing at that point. Second ladder, I would say you're climbing straight up.
Straight up, yeah. If not a wee bit tilted, but...
Yeah, maybe like a 90-degree angle? I don't know. But I would say 60 feet at least.
There's like 3 or 4 sets of ladders. Yeah.
And then the ladders end, and in order to get out of this crag, it's a chimney like you see in fucking rock climbing movies all the time, where you have to wedge your back against one wall, your feet against the other. Lots of handholds. I was able to half pull-up, do half pull-ups, half chimney, and climb out of this, but it's very technical. This is not for... Beginners could get through it because it is a trail attached to a fucking resort, but do not go down this.
Yeah, we wouldn't say go down it. There are 2 spots on this squeeze that... don't want to sound like this, but I'm going to sound like this. If you are a more robust person, it may be a bit of a challenge because you have to go through such tight quarters. Number one, if you're claustrophobic, do not do this because you will get a panic attack. It is really tight. And also, I had to squeeze my ass through these little holes, man. And women, you can't go in hips first. You just can't because it is so tight. You have to go in sideways.
Yes, there's a hilarious video of a failed attempt and then a readjustment.
That's right.
Yeah, I had a 20-liter pack, like my smallest pack possible. And I had to take it off and throw it up on ledges above me because I wasn't getting through with the pack on. Yeah. So you were smart and just took a running vest, which next time I will do as well. But the only reason that we had a pack with us is because we brought changes of clothes that I lugged around all day for no reason, it turns out.
Thank you, though.
You're welcome. Our plan was to duck behind some trees and change and look presentable so we could sneak into
the hotel.
We ended up not needing to do that. We just walked in our smelly hiker clothes, but we'll get there.
Yes.
So once you climb out of this chimney, you are on a fucking amazing ledge, and you have the Catskills. You're looking at Devil's Path off in the distance, Slide Mountain, all of the amazing Catskills.
All the Catskills. It's amazing.
And if you look out straight ahead, you are looking at Sam's Point, Mount Millbrook, which I climbed, and I did a solo episode on that, so go listen to that shit.
For those that do the AT or have done the AT, it reminds me so much of the approach to Bear Mountain. You climb up on this ledge, and you have this gorgeous view. I mean, they're so close by 30 miles maybe, but it's very reminiscent of that.
Which makes sense because it's, like you said, they're very close.
They're so close.
It's the same area, basically. There is a tower. You called it a fire tower. I guess that's what it was built for, but...
They did have a lookout.
Yeah. That was built in 1921 that we climbed to the top, and the views are absolutely gorgeous. You could look at the hotel. You could look at the panoramic fucking mountains. Highly recommended.
Yes, absolutely. So we hung up there because, you know what, it is September 2nd, and finally the weather is turning, so it's nice and cool, and we had a nice breeze, and then we were forming our plan of attack for the rest of our hike, because now pretty much the hardest part of the hike was over. We were at the top. The only way down to go is down now. So we decided to visit the resort house.
And we ended up not changing. We passed, which we will be revisiting in the winter. They have, as Tumbles mentioned, the ice skating rink, which now is set up as a summer pavilion, but I'm guessing when November hits, they will fill that shit up and it will become an ice rink. So I want to come back and revisit that. We decided to just walk into the hotel.
Into the dining area.
Like we owned the place.
Yep.
And it worked. Some things are more adventurous than I am, so you just started grabbing coffee and a plate, and I was like, oh, I guess we're doing this now. Just act natural, act like you belong here, act like you own the place. So we had some lovely smoked salmon.
Yeah, and a croissant.
Fresh coffee.
With butter.
A croissant. And we sat out in the Adirondack chairs overlooking the paddle boats and the canoes
lake.
And the lake. And it was a lovely interlude and a refresher for our hike.
And we said, fuck this, we're paying $35 a person. Yeah, we're getting continental fucking breakfast.
So that made the $35 worth it. We snuck up to the first floor. They have, what the fuck? It looked like a chapel, but...
Yeah, it was, it looks like they use it for movies.
Okay.
It was a meeting room, but gorgeous 1890s feel, exposed wood beams and fireplaces everywhere, mosaics in some parts of that room. Just absolutely lovely.
So the guy that started this, I don't remember his first name.
Alfred Smiley.
I was going to say Smiley. His first name is Alfred. That's awesome. From Maine.
Yeah. Kennebec County.
Yep. Came down exploring the Shawnigunks area and started out with a very small, modest tavern.
Yep, 10 rooms.
And it eventually grew into this massive, awesome fucking resort. So the building that we were in was built 1899.
Absolutely beautiful. And they have maps there so you can see when each part of the resort was built. And the most recent actually was 2005 when they built their spa. And you know what? It doesn't look out of place at all. It's behind a bunch of trees and everything, so you still get that early 20th century feel.
So Mrs. Cranky loves Hershey. She loves the Hershey Hotel, Resort, Hershey Spa. We've been there many times in the coming up on 12 years that we've been married. I am going to try and wean her off of that shit and start trying to wean her onto this, because the only other place that I've been to that I could compare it to is the Hershey Resort and Spa. We sound so fucking privileged in this episode.
Well, we are privileged. We got some continental breakfast with smoked salmon, goddammit.
Privileged hikers.
Privileged hikers.
This, comparing the two, this looked much, much better. And slightly cheaper.
Yes.
So, you went in the gift shop.
Yeah, nice gift shop.
because you're thoughtful. You got your loved ones gifts.
Yep. Because my parents like this place too, so I'm like, I'm going to get them something.
Yeah, that happened to be a happy accident. I was just looking at awesome trails, but you have actually been here a couple of times in your life.
Yes, my grandmother loved this place, and when I was 4, apparently I had said to her while we were there, I don't like this crappy place. I was fucking 4 years old. Did she let me live it down? No. I remember when I was maybe 23, 24, 25, until she passed away 3 years ago. You used to say this place was crappy. You don't like it. I'm like, are you serious? It's been almost 25 years. So, yeah, she never let me live it down. Bless her heart.
That is hilarious.
It's gorgeous.
So we missed one of the trails that I wanted to do. Off of the Eagle Point Trail, we went to the right to head up into the Lemon Squeeze and the Class 4. If you go left, you end up at Lemon Squeeze. So I was looking for a way for us to...
Or the Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Yes.
To backtrack and hit the Labyrinth Trail. You found a much better way of doing that. Because you were better at the navigation.
Ew.
So...
After our lovely breakfast and tour of the hotel, I decided to take a trail that hugged the lake, and it's a really nice lake. It's a man-made. It's a natural lake. So this trail hugged the lake, and we got back to the point where the Labyrinth Trail started, which was actually right below where the fire tower is.
So we took that trail from opposite ends. Well, you thought you were on the end. You were in almost 3/4 of the way through.
All trails kind of suck today.
Yeah, we would have been fine if we weren't half doing our own thing, half following an established route that someone else had done. Mm-hmm. If we had just a clear map and making it up as we went along, we would have done much better.
Yeah.
So I found the trailhead where it begins. So the Labyrinth Trail was one of the reasons that I wanted to come to this place. It turned out to be a little bit of a disappointment, actually.
Compared to what we started out with.
Yes. Lots of scrambles. There's a spot where you have to do a belly crawl. You didn't actually see that spot.
No.
Some ladders, but compared to Lemon Squeeze was much, much better. So the Labyrinth Trail is a mile of scrambling and ladders, and there were a lot of city folk on it you said you've overheard some woman saying that she was actually terrified.
She was terrified, yeah, that's what she said.
The city folk that I encountered were talking about how this shit is nuts, man. You gotta be fucking Spider-Man to do this shit. So can I just get by? Thank you. Spider-Man coming through. So yeah, the city folk that are going to the resort and are doing this trail, they are not prepared, but it's okay.
It was fine.
Yeah. If you're there, it's worth going to check out, but
it's good beginner trails.
Yes. So I did the entire Labyrinth Trail. You ended up doing about 3/4 of it. Mm-hmm. So we had a minor hiccup trying to find each other because you were like, why aren't you done yet?
Yeah, I know. This is so weird.
Because I was going farther than you had thought. But we eventually linked back up, and we took the carriage roads down Glory Hill.
Yeah, Glory Hill. That's the only one I remember.
Yep, because we were fucking around and bullshitting, and we renamed it Glory Hole. So that cuts out the Duck Pond Trail. Is a lot of climbing and some scrambles. The Glory Hole, Glory Hill Trail cuts all of that out. So if you are looking to avoid a challenging start and just looking to get into the fun shit, you can take that route up as well.
Yeah. It's to the left. If you're traveling, starting your hike, it's to the left of the Duck Pond.
So we went for this is your restaurant review portion of the podcast. I forgot what the fuck is it?
Well, we finished with 7.5 miles. We had about 1,600 feet of gain. overall, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're going basically vertical, you're going to build up a sweat.
Yeah, class 4 there was only really one spot, but class 4 is a lot of fun, but no joke as far as physicality.
Yeah. And it was a great mix. It was a mix of difficult, it was a mix of super easy, and everything in between. Definitely will come back and do more because there's plenty more trails to explore in the preserve.
So we found a new spot for food in New Paltz. We were not impressed. Do you remember the name of it at this point?
It's a brewery, Clements Hill.
Yes.
Clements something.
Yes.
Clements Brewery. Everything has a hill in it. I don't know.
Food was okay.
Yeah, it was good.
But it took
forever. And the place wasn't even packed.
We were there for an hour and a half to get 2 burgers.
Yeah, no. They had to kill the cow, apparently.
So Rocks and Roots does not recommend it. It gave us time to plan out our next adventures and possible skiing adventures, but still. So, like I said, best trails in New York.
Yes.
Go there, go early, don't pay the fee.
Go often.
Yes. Come early, come often. Go there, don't pay the fee.
Yeah.
Walk into the hotel like you own the place and have a fucking blast. Can't recommend this enough. Lots of awesome clips on the TikTok coming. Lots of awesome pictures on the Instanuts coming.
That's right. And this past week, I was up in Quebec City for a visit, and I highly, highly, highly recommend, since I did not get to any of the wooded hiking trails in the Laurentians because of rain, I ran Old Quebec City. Very highly recommend if you are a runner. Yeah.
Yes, she's been trying to sell me on this, which you really don't have to do. I'm there.
I know.
She's been talking about it all day and selling me on it. So there will be, hopefully this coming spring, summer of 23, a Rocks and Roots Quebec
international trip.
Yes, our first international trip. Mr. and Mrs. Craig need to get passports first, though.
Yes. But anyway. News. Oh, that's right. We have news.
There is lots of hiking news abound this week. So first of all, we mentioned Sam's Point because we were looking at it from
Mohonk.
Yes. It's on fire.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't see any smoke today. It must be pretty well out at this point. But Minnewaska State Park is closed, friends, until the foreseeable future.
So, if you remember, before we went out west, one of our last training trips, we did the ice caves and the Sam's Point up there, and we were talking about how there's tons of blueberries and huckleberries, and we've had a very, very dry summer in the Northeast, and a dry summer plus lightning.
Yep.
250 acres of Minnewaska State Forest and State Parks burned during the month of August. But it's okay, because Kathy Hochul, the New York State governor, put out a statement. She's all over it, saying don't go there for your safety.
You fucking jinxed it. You're like, a nice forest fire would be great up here. Just put all this shit out. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker.
I did. We have, in the history of our hiking, we go to a place and then within 7 days or 2 weeks, it's on fire.
It's on fire.
It's happened like 5 times now.
Yeah, it happened at the Delaware Water Gap. It happened at Breakneck Bridge. It happened here.
And it happened in the Grand Canyon.
It happened in the Grand Canyon. That's right.
We got to
That was same day.
Yes, we got to see that one. But no, forest fires. I know that there's been a lot in the news in recent years, especially with
the West Peak. So
the West people and PCT hikers. But forest fires are beneficial, and the mountaintops, the escarpments, all along and all inside Minnewaska are just covered with crappy, invasive blueberries and huckleberries. I mean, we picked it. We had a fucking blast. You made a delicious... What the fuck did you make with that shit? Some sort of loaf?
Oh, yeah, I made a loaf.
Yes. So, yeah, we went foraging, and with your haul, you made a delicious dessert loaf. I was like, let me just get some sponge cake and some whipped cream.
That's all right. Makes life easy.
But yeah, I remember commenting. I was like, we need a forest fire to clear this shit out so we can get some trees growing back. And that's what happened.
Well, you know what? It's been so dry in the Northeast that the leaves are changing. I'm looking now at Harriman State Park as we were driving down the thruway. The leaves are fucking changing, and it's only September 3rd.
But they're not changing nice. They're just going from green to brown.
Yeah, they're going brown because there's been no water.
Yeah. So that's your Hudson Valley hiking news. Grand Canyon hiking news since we were there this month. So right by where we were, North Rim, Bright Angel Trail, there was a hiker who fell off a ledge. He went off trail. He was not on trail. They tell you not to do that.
How can you go off trail, honestly?
I don't know. He was bushwhacking, probably trying to get closer to the edge in the rim.
Yeah.
So he fell. This happens at least a couple of times a year in the Grand Canyon. Actually, the night before we went to the Grand Canyon, I made you watch a YouTube video of all the people that died.
That's right. Here's a happy, joyful video for you to watch to prepare.
For our hike tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why didn't you finish that hike?
Because I didn't want to go all the way up. And it was hot.
Okay.
I was complaining.
So yeah, the dude fucking died. This happens 2-3 times a year in the Grand Canyon. Stay on the fucking trails and watch what you're doing.
Except for us. Because we go up chimneys for fun.
That was part of the trail, though. Today?
The first chimney?
Oh, no, that was not. Yes. Okay. Do as we say, not as we do. And then you found in the Adirondacks,
what did I find?
No, Catskills. Some lady started her hike at 12:30 and didn't get out till 9:30 at night.
No water, no food, no headlamp, no anything. Fucking idiot. Sorry, you are.
Obviously did not know what she was doing. I don't know how you go off trail, though.
I have no idea.
They're all marked, established trail. They're difficult.
Maybe it was one of the bushwhacks?
Maybe.
It's the only thing I'm thinking.
But she had no water. No, she
food.
was using her cell phone flashlight after it got dark. No, nothing. And she spent 9 hours lost. She is lucky that she stumbled out of there.
And she's lucky that it's summertime.
Yep.
Where you could stay the night there and not freeze.
Yes. I think those were the 3 news stories that we wanted to cover.
Yeah, that was very good.
So we have a very special upcoming guest. We are going to hold him to it.
Yes.
This is your doing, so...
Is it?
Yes.
Is it Mr. Hikes All Day?
Yes.
Oh, because we have another guest that we're actually interviewing this upcoming week. And then the week after, so thrilled because me and Brian Hikes All Day, that's his Insta, Brian Twardy, who is an absolute beast on the Mid-Atlantic and New England trails. He and his friend are going, I apologize. Oh, Tony Montana. Mr. Tony Montana, how could I forget? Are coming on the podcast. We are interviewing them not this week, but next week on the 14th. And we are so looking forward to hearing about their exploits in the Catskills and up in the Adirondacks and in the Whites and in Maine and everywhere in between. And Mr. Twardy is known for his slide climbing. So, of course, that piqued our interest, especially Crankies. So we will be trying one of those slides soon.
Yes. Flume Slide in the Whites. It heads up to Liberty Mountain, Liberty Peak. So that's the one I picked out for us to try since we are beginners at this shit. We've never done this. So that one looks doable for us, but I would eventually, and we're going to be picking their brains about this, I would eventually like to do the trap dike and right some of the slides on Wright Mountain in the Adirondacks. So I am looking forward to talking to these guys on the 14th.
Yes, so that is all the news and all the updates from us. We are heading back into the fall, so more...
We're talking a lot about skiing over lunch.
Yeah, we were talking about getting back into cross country, maybe start some downhill, learn how to ski. But what I was gonna say is that we're gonna get back into the interviews again. It is the fall. We do love to do interviews in the fall and winter, just because everyone's kind of taking a break, except for us. And yeah, that's I think that's about it, dude.
That's about it. We may pop in and do a quick review of Megadeth, which we are going to see on the 12th. We'll see. I'm
Yes.
super excited for that.
Yes, it should be very interesting. So if you have not already, please follow us on the Instagram, rocks_and_roots_pod. TikTok is the same. YouTube is the same. Patreon, hey, we're on there. Give us some doll hairs for your listening pleasure. We appreciate you guys always listening to our ramblings about trail. If any of you have anybody you think would be awesome to be interviewed on our podcast, please send us a message anywhere. We will answer you because we love chatting. And other than that, I think that's it, right?
That's it.
All right, ciao.